break under the pre-season, but we are finally back. This is One Hub Racing, sponsored by Next Level Racing. They sponsor the league by providing a GL Light cockpit as a prize to our giveaway winner, Liam RBS. He sponsors our trophies for each season. You can check him out on Twitch under the name Liam RBS. We have 3M Sim Racing. They sponsor the league, providing a pair of their sim racing gloves to the driver with the most poles and the most fastest laps. We have our partners who are Vespertin and Apparel Brand, who support our championship prizes, and the esports team ERT Racing, who partner us in the ERT Go and Get Stuff Awards. My name is Dane. I am your stand-in commentator for this pre-season race, and I am joined with Matt. How are you doing, mate?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How is yourself?
I'm doing very good, thank you. I'm really excited to see these drivers race around this very confusing track. Of course, we're racing around Britain Short. This is the first time in One Hub's history that we'll be racing around one of the alternate layouts, and we'll be racing at Silverstone Short here. You know, the short layout at Silverstone, I'd say the international layout. Of course, it's only 1.6 miles long, a sub 1 minute lap time. We do have 8 corners and 52 laps instead of the classic 26 because we decided to do a 100% race distance instead of a 50%, because a 50% race would only last about 20-25 minutes, and that just wouldn't add up. We only have one DRS zone, that is on the back straight before stow. Corner cutting is set to strict, track direction is clockwise, and the most interesting part is the mandatory 2-stop. How do you feel about that?
I feel that will spice up the racing a lot, and with it being a short track, it'll be really important as well to time the pit stop, otherwise you might get lapped. So it'll be interesting to see who will trigger the undercut first here, really.
Yeah, definitely, especially since we're using the C3, C2s and C1 compound tyres. The C3 softs, they can last 30 laps, and only 3/10 behind is the C2 mediums, which can last 44 laps, and the C1 tyres, which are the hards, they can go the entire race distance. So really, there's no real need to use the hard compound of tyres. It's really just going to be a decision whether you want to take 2 softs or 2 mediums to the end of the race here. What do you think the strategy will be? Soft, medium, soft, or soft, medium, medium?
Ooh. Well, first off, I think everyone will be starting on the soft tyre, but preferably people will... because tyre wear's not really that bad round here, so I'm going to find a lot of people will probably go soft and then maybe try not use the mediums until like the last couple of laps. So it's going to be really interesting because I've had experience racing around here before, and the tyre wear is not that much of an issue, but racing's really good as long as you're good with your overtake, and yeah, a lot of opportunities will open up for you.
Yeah, definitely, especially how you mentioned the overtake as well. There's quite a lot of straights, of course, sector 1 and sector 3, 2 big straights. So it'll be very difficult for these drivers to manage the ERS, but you do have the infield bit, you know, turn 3 and 4, that could probably be a potential place to save it, and also the final part of the lap, 6, 7 and 8, could also be a potential place where you could start to save your ERS as well. But swiftly moving on to our media day, we have the pre-race press conferences. This is the only thing we've done for the media day instead of the traditional drivers press conference, team press conferences. We just had the pre-race interviews because it is just a pre-season event. It's just to get these drivers, you know, warmed back up into the swing of things. So one of the drivers I have here is Liam JHMC. He raced in the Prospect Hill last season. He was one of the front runners, and one of the questions to him were, welcome back or welcome new drivers, what are your goals for this pre-season race? My main goal for the pre-season race is to get to grip, and his answer was, my main goal for the pre-season race was to get to grips with the car and show that he has the pace to compete with the title. And the second question was, looking back on the last season with fresh eyes, did you accomplish everything you wanted to? If not, how come? And to which he responded with, no, because I failed to finish in the top 3. The third question was, is this a good track for you to shake off your pre-season malice and get back into it? He says his pace around Silverstone is normally good for pole position, and the short layout isn't much different, so he is feeling good. And with this being a warm-up, if you like, will you change your race strategy or racecraft to build up the confidence ahead of the season opener? He says, no, I'm going to try and push the car to the limit from start to finish. And the final question was, are you glad to be back at the wheel or in the booth if you do both? And what are you looking forward to the most? And he says, I'm happy to be back in the booth. It's been a boring wait for the new season, and he's looking forward to putting on a good show. And of course we do have Liam. Yeah, he's basically a one-hub veteran here. He's been here since season 11. Last season he has had I would say he really showed the pace that he could have won a championship. Of course, the Salty Bear, who was the winner, was really overpowered. But Liam, he did show promise of pace, and if he can just get that consistency up, then, you know, get out of incidents and try not to see astronauty on the track, he can definitely fight for a championship.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just like you say, you just have to be a bit consistent. Sometimes you may not even have a good result, but as long as you're in the points, it's better than no points in DNFing.
Yeah, 100%. So basically back on the track, we have another. I forgot. There's an information bit I forgot here, which is a pit stop loss of 25.5 seconds. I can't believe I forgot such information like that, because that would just be really important to know, especially since a lap time around here I'd say is about 45 seconds long, 46 seconds. So basically in the pit stop you'll be losing at least half a lap, if not an entire lap. So these drivers, they're definitely going to have to push as hard as they can.
Yeah, they really have to just try and not fall behind here or get involved in a turn one incident, because if you're involved in a turn one incident, the chances of you unlapping yourself is you'll have to stay out, make sure the leaders pit, and then hope a safety car comes and saves your race. So you sort of have to keep it clean around here. Yes, it's pre-season, but it gives us, the commentators, an idea of where everyone is on track and where the drivers themselves are in the pack and where they can improve.
Definitely. And Matt, have you got any potential action spots for these drivers to look out for?
Well, action pots. I'm trying to think. Turn 2, if you get a good run out of the last corner, you probably send one down the inside. It narrows down into turn 3. Turn 4, I'm going to see a couple of warnings, a couple of penalties, because the white line is a bit of a nasty one. I myself got a couple of penalties in a league race. I'm not going to specify the names because I'm not allowed. And as you go down the main straights, if you get a good run out of the last corner, good traction, there's easy overtaking into turn 5. And you can go side by side quite a lot around this Silverstone as well. So you've got the last sector as well, which you can go side by side to. So there's a lot of overtaking opportunities here.
Yeah, and do you think dirty air could be a bit of a factor here, especially around the track like Silverstone?
Surprisingly, dirty air, in my experience, it wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. Yes, okay, maybe through the last corner, the high-speed right-hander. I'm really bad with corner names, I apologise about that, but that's really the only sort of corner you'll suffer from dirty air, really. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it's like in the wet, though.
Yeah, definitely.
If it is a wet race.
Yeah, definitely. I've been running since I'm racing this season in the Precision tier, which is also commentated by Liam, who is one of our drivers here. I've done quite a couple of race simulations, and 3 out of the 4 I've done, there has been a transition from dry to wet. So wet could definitely be a factor in this race, and it could definitely spice up some things here tonight. But it seems as if, though, Indecisive, our lobby host, he is now readying up the session, so we will momentarily be starting our qualifying. But I know this is very early, but do you know anyone here you think you can go for a race win here?
I tell you the truth, I really don't know. But in terms of the charity race, I believe Storm, I recognise that name, and I remember rightly he wasn't so bad on his day. So I'm going to keep an eye on him. He's going to be my driver to watch.
Yeah, Storm, he did race last season, and he did get quite a bit outshadowed by his teammate RAS_Adam. I gotta tell you, he's gotta be one to look out for. But yeah, Storm, hopefully he can recharge. Of course, some of the quick drivers, they have moved up tiers. Of course, we now have a podium tier and our points tier, which is our brand new 5th tier. Some of our drivers who were there in the prospect tier last season have now moved up into there, so that could allow some of our drivers to, move up the grid a little bit. And Storm could be one of them indeed. But I think a driver who I'm going to be looking out for, as I said earlier on, is definitely going to be RAS_Adam. He had a really good second half to the season, and maybe he can capitalize on that. Of course, we have 13 drivers here tonight, so decent turn up for a pre-season race. I'm not really going to criticize the ones who didn't show up here, but look at the weather in this short qualifying session. It is quite overcast. Do you think we could potentially be seeing some rain later on?
It's looking likely, but because of the pre-season we don't have tasks, so we don't have any information about that. But by the sounds of it, cars are going straight out on track, and it looks like it could be a rain-affected qualifying. So this could be a one-shot quali for everyone here if the normal British weather turns the waterworks on.
Yeah, another thing I find interesting is Liam JHMC. He's a driver that would usually start on the mediums at the start of qualifying, but he's going straight onto the soft compound, so maybe that's a sign that there is going to be a bit of weather here coming later onto this session. But look how dark it is. It's just really dark Of course, our first driver, Kingan, on track. Yeah, would you like to take us on board for a lap of his when we get onto it?
On board who, sorry?
Kingan.
Kingdom, apologies. Yeah, sure, I'll go around board on Kingdom. Whereabouts? This goes down the main straight. Is he in the Williams?
Yes, he is.
So yeah, we're going out the last corner there. Kept not to cut the inside curve there, so you couldn't really loosen the rear, so it's flat out through turn 1 in these F1 2020 cars. As Demon has retired, unfortunately, so breaking into turn 2 just before the 50-metre brake board. Sort of need to sacrifice your speed there to open up turn 4 and into turn 5. You feel like it can go so much quicker, but that exit really does go up quickly on you, and try not to go over those white lines, as that can invalidate your lap. So there's a bit of traffic in front. This may affect his turn in here, as Jess has gotten in the way. Oh, Kingdom has ruined his lap there, but he's still going to get a banker lap in. It's better than no lap. He's braking just after the 100-metre board. It's so hard not to just power the throttle on, because you can easily lose the rear here. And that is a time of a 45.2, which was definitely affected by Jess, but I'm pretty sure Jess didn't mean to do that, as she's probably one of the most respectful drivers I know on the grid, as well as the commentators. So yeah, it's a lot more time to find there for Kingdom.
Yeah, she probably just didn't see him coming up. Of course, the track is so short and a lot of drivers are going to be out at once. Maybe she didn't just see him coming up at all, but it seems as though Kingdom has gone for a second lap. He hasn't backed off just yet. Of course, now in the final sector, that's how quick a lap goes around here. He has kept it in hot lap, so let's see what he can do through these final 3 corners. Goes on to second gear, clipping the apex, going to the throttle as early as possible. Up into 4th gear and run across the line. Can this be an improvement? It definitely will be an improvement, and it does put him up into P3. So he is 2/10 off Astronaut, who does go fastest, but that is a very solid lap from Kingan on Warner tyres.
Definitely. I mean, I'm surprised. Well, I was saying I'm surprised he's got enough battery left, but with it being such a small track, like you said, you can easily do at least even 3 flying laps in a row if you want to, because with it being like half the size of the full circuit, you know, you're not really using as much battery.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. And especially here, some drivers could definitely go for quite a bit of a strategy here. They could either do 2 hot laps or they could do 2 out laps, and because last I checked, the fuel you start with is actually, the minimum is 5.0 litres, so you do start off with a very, very heavy car, and you definitely have to drop that fuel if you want to get a good lap in. But speaking of a good lap, we do have Ross Storm, who is not on a good lap at the moment. Of course, he was a driver to watch, but he's lagging quite a bit. I'm not sure if it's me, I do apologise, but he's still continuing on the lap. I don't think he really messed up on his lap time there. Going on to the second DRS, onto the first DRS straight, the second DRS straight on the normal layout of the circuit. And now approaching Stowe. He goes down into 6th gear, doesn't use 5th gear like some of the other drivers have here. And then braking just before the curb starts. Down into 2nd gear, early onto the throttle, up into 3rd gear, then up into 4th. Hugging the apex into the final corner, and looking this lap time point, moves him up into P6.
I think there's a lot more time to find here, but I wonder if we'll find some drivers going out for 2 out laps to burn some more fuel off the car to make it a bit lighter on the actual lap themselves.
Yeah, and speaking, there's just so much action going on the track at the moment. Can't really stop and think about these, because with it being such a short track, everyone's just going to be on a lap time here. We have the Alpha Tauri driver of Wace, I think that is, last I heard on the tier announcement. I don't really know how to pronounce that name, but his car is smoking. Maybe that could be a sign of him going super fast, and it is a sign of him going super fast. He moves his car up into P3, only a 10th off Liam and Astronaut, who seem to be just the 2 superpowers at the moment here.
Yeah, I mean, could be much ways his car has no hands, so yes, hopefully that'll sort itself in the actual race itself. Where else are we? I think Jake Combs is currently on a lap at the moment. Can you still hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I had a bit of a network issue, a pop-up on my screen, but hopefully that rectifies itself. There's Jake Combs starts at Sector 3 right now. Seems to be on improvement at the moment, green sectors. avoids those nasty sausage curves in the last chicane net. Nicely targeted by Jake there for you. Where's this put him? To P6.
And right behind him we do have Astronauty, who's just gone fastest by 10 1,000ths of a second, I believe that is. So Liam and Astronauty, it seems as if though their rivalry has definitely not settled down. If anything, it's gotten a little bit more heated here in this pre-season race qualifying, because these guys are just so close, and 2/10 in a lap that is a sub 1 minute, that's just quite a large margin. So these guys seem to be in a league of their own at the moment. But coming through the final bar of the track, we do have Wace. He's coming through the final corner. Can he maybe join these guys? Yes, he can. He moves up into P2. And look how close that is between him and Liam. And his Astronauty, he sets another lap time once again. He's gone even quicker, by an entire 10th quicker this time. So the gap has just gotten even further between the top 3 drivers at the moment. But it's so close at the moment. I think you may be having some network issues there, Matt. Can't really hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm having some technical difficulties. If you just stand by for a minute and I'll rectify the issue. I know what the issue is.
No worries, mate. So moving on, we have a lap time from Adam, who's coming in. He's one of the drivers yet to set a lap time. Of course, Cetas Demon, he's already retired, and Fuzzy Bear hasn't set a lap time. He has set a lap time now. He moves up into P5. So it's just Adam of the runners who are yet to set a lap time at the moment. Coming through the first DRS straight, where can this lap time put him? It's been looking quite tidy so far. I don't really have a doubt to be able to see how he's doing at the moment. But coming through the final sector, his car is also smoking. So that's very interesting if that's a glitch or not. Hopefully they're not losing performance from it. Coming through the final sector of the track now, the final section of the track now. Coming through the penultimate corner and the final corner, where can this lap time put him? It's been looking decent, and it does move him up into P2 at the with a 44.193. So that's a really good lap time from him, and these top 4 drivers just over a 10th between each other. This is looking really good at the moment.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Apologies about that.
No worries, it's all good. We do have Liam on the lap time. If you would like to take us through the rest of that, he has gone purple.
Liam's on the lap time now in that Ferrari, which is usually bright red, but with how overcast it is right now, so he brakes just after the 100 rod. Just where that curve pops up, you brake just as the outside curve pops up. Now it's about when can you put the throttle down. Got it down very nicely there. This could be the fastest lap time. No, it's not. 44.1, so close for the Ferrari driver of Liam. Ferrari will be impressed with that, signing up Liam for this season.
Yeah, of course, he drove in the other Italian team last season, AlphaTauri, alongside Jess, so they both got promoted into one of the top teams here. Can they perhaps bring home a Constructors' trophy for the Ferrari team? Of course, they did miss out last season to a Salty Bear, who just had a masterclass all on his own, but looks like Liam is back with a vengeance, and maybe Jess, she can, you know, pick up from the backhand, get some points on the board for the Ferrari team, and they could be in for some good results this season. But here comes Liam. He didn't give up at all. He's going for another hot lap here, but he doesn't seem to have improved. In fact, he's gone 1.8 seconds slower, so maybe it's the time. He has done 3 laps, so maybe it's the time that his soft tyres are currently dying a little bit here. Of course, doing 2 hot laps in a row, it's possible, but it's very risky because you can wear your tyres quite a lot more.
I mean, unless it's just invalidated, his lap now has gone all 4 tyres off the road. It's that corner I was talking about before qualifying started. It really comes up quickly, but because this is such a short circuit now, you're going to find drivers are going to have a bit of a lengthy stop in the pits because they've only got 3 sets of tyres. They haven't really got a lot of tyres to play with, so we need to keep that in mind as well.
Indeed they don't, and of course we have Primeval Rex. I thought he was going to be on a lap time, but it turns out he isn't. He's going to be pulling into the pit lane, but we do have Jake W. Combs. He's on a lap time right now. Going through Stowe, he does brake a little bit late, missing his braking zone, having to go on into 5th gear, short shifting back up into 6th, braking just at the curb starts, into 2nd gear, onto the throttle as early as possible. Where can this lap time put him? Is it an improvement? As Fuzzy Bear, he leaves the session. Hopefully he can get back into the session as quickly as possible. But yeah, we now have Adam. He's also left the session, so I think we're having some network issues on F1 at the moment. Hopefully it's not lobby destroying, but we do have Astronauty on a hot lap here. He's half a tenth down in the first sector, but can he improve on that lap time? Of course, the first sector, that's basically just a braking zone really, so not really that bad to be down on a lap time there, especially when he's only half a tenth. But what about the second and final sector? That's where it all matters. Of course, he does gain a little bit there, but he is still down on his lap time, so he's going to have to push extra hard in this final sector. Can this lap time further extend his lead at the front? Of course, it has gotten closer with the Liam hot lap here. Onto the throttle as early as possible. Can he improve his lap time? Can he get into the 43s? No, he doesn't, but he gets into the zeros. So it's a really good lap time from Astronauti, and he does extend his gap.
That is a very impressive lap. He was on the edge of track limits there at turn 4. So he couldn't have gone much quicker through there, but I reckon he still would have found some time through Stowe. He turned in a bit too early then, got into the inside curve there, which might have unsettled his car a bit there, but that's a respectable lap time from Astronaut. That's a proper statement from him.
Indeed it is a 10th, you know, on a long track, as I said earlier on a long track it is very close, but here it's quite a distance. I'd say maybe about 3 tenths, 2 tenths. So, but we're now nearing the final part of this qualifying session. Everybody's in the pit lane. Everyone will be on their in laps right now. Besides from Alex Lilliard, who is going to be on an out lap. He's done 6 laps on the soft compound of tyres. That's an insane amount of laps, isn't it?
Let's hope he's not starting on them tyres, but I'm going to ride on board with Waves right now. I think he's getting ready for a flying lap here. So he's starting to prepare his tyres up for his lap here. Trying to open it up the main straight. Very nice exit out the last one there to open up his lap. Riding on board with Rays in the AlphaTauri. Of course, flat out through turn 1, but turning too early could invalidate your lap there. Nice and flat out between turn 1 and 2. Braking just before the 50 metre board into turn 3. Took a bit too much curve there. Would have unsettled the rear end there. But he seems to have gotten away with it there. Missed the apex there in turn 4, and that's his lap time invalidated. Well, I'm just not going to ride on board with Waze because I seem to keep jinxing him every time I'm riding on board with him. So, sorry, Waze.
Of course, that corner is just so strict. The exit of turn 4, I think it's a little bit too strict there. But he's going to be going on another hot lap if you would like to go on board with him once again.
Yeah, certainly. Unless he would like to pick the fresh set of tyres, but nevertheless, he's just cut turn 1 again.
Never mind then. We do have RAS Adam though.
But the Haas driver, I think, who's on a lap at the moment, or did he get held up by Waze of Alex, who set personal best in sector 1. He's gone wide and he's upshifting. Yeah, he realises that. I think Waze may have gotten in his line of sight there and misjudged his braking point there. I think everyone's starting to get ready for the laps now. Going out for maybe 2 warm-up laps to burn some fuel off. Just like you said, they can have a minimum of 5 litres, with the minimum amount being what it'd be at the normal Silverstone layout.
We do have
Adam right now. He's getting ready to go for a lap now. Yeah, he's gone out for 2 preparation laps, I've noticed. Let's ride on board with the Renault of Adam now. Flat out, usual, turn 1, turn 2, very, very nice in these 2020 F1 cars. Breaking into turn 3 after the meter board. Mr. Williams can nicely get out of the way. To turn 5 now, nice apex there, really nice exit out of there. Just looking like a quick lap this here. Go under the bridge, he's only 5 thousandths off the fastest sector in the middle sector. I can not actually like this so far as we go through. Left-hand, does he avoid the curve? He does indeed. Misses the epic switch there, but gets on the throttle nice and early here. Where's this put him? To P3 for 44.2. Nice time lap there for that.
Indeed it is, and Adam is just once again showing the promise he has, and seems to have been able to carry over that pace he had from last season. A very, very good lap from him. But what about his teammate though? He's beginning to start a lap as well. He's all the way down in P11th and is an entire second off the fastest lap time at the moment, but can he improve? He has now gone up into hot lap mode. That means he's ready to show business, flat out through turn 1, through 8th gear, nice and tidy, hug the inside as he breaks into turn 3, breaking at the 100-meter board, down to 3rd gear, revving the engine a little bit there, into 5th gear, through turn 4, probably the most difficult corner on the track, and yeah, he's gone a bit too wide and he's invalidated his lap time.
Looking at his car compared to Adam's, his front end just looks so lazy compared to Adam. He's really struggling with that front end. He can't get the front end to bite in turn 4 like Adam can. So I wonder if a bit of team play can help Storm here to sort his front end out. Looks a bit of a handful like that.
Yeah, probably down to his sort of, maybe he's running less downforce and is just focusing on the race. But we do have Jess on the lap. Here she is now rounding the final sector. Oh, there's a bit of lag going on in front of me there. Hopefully that didn't distract her line of vision. And she's now coming through the final corner. What will this be? And it seems as though she was down on her lap time. And we have Astronauty, he's off the track. But we do have Liam, he is on the track. And he's getting ready to set a lap time as well. So I think this will probably be a pole position lap time here. If he can just hook it all up. Of course he is getting his car nice and ready. There's yellow flags throughout the entire circuit. I think that's just people going slowly. But coming through the final corner, here we have Liam crossing the start finish line. Here on board for his final lap time of this qualifying session. Takes turn 1 flat out. Oh, he's using every bit of the limit there, but it's still not invalidating. Brake just as the curb starts, down into 3rd gear. Early on the throttle as early as possible. Then through turn 4, using all of the curb there. Stays in 5th gear. That was very close not to invalidate there, but that was a very, very nice second sector as Liam is up on his lap time, but it's not enough to take pole position from Astronauty at the moment. He will not be improving from his lap time. So coming through slow, Liam will have to give it his absolute all through this final section of the track if he wants to take pole position. Coming through the final part of the track, through the penultimate corner, he's using every single bit of the track there. What can this lap time be? Can it put him on pole? Yes, it does. By 10,000ths of a second. What a lap time from the Scottish driver.
Can he be any more on the limit?
Honestly, I don't know. He has abused every single bit of that track.
There was times I was actually squinting because I thought, oh no, they're being validated, but he literally maximised the track there. Just how close it is between P1 and P2. It doesn't sound like Astronaut backed out, but I noticed when I was on board with Astronaut, it was indecisive. He lost it on the start finish straight, and then there was debris, I think, on the main straight, so I wonder if he picked up some damage or a slow puncture and forced him to back out.
Yeah, hopefully that didn't. Hopefully that didn't really happen to him, because that would just be very dangerous if there's debris that could give these guys damage. But now your final qualifying session, we're incoming the results. But we have your pole man on Liam. Second we have Astronauty. Third we have RAS Adam. Fourth we have Wace. Fifth we have Primeful Rex. Sixth we have F1 Bazza. Seventh we have Kingan. Eighth we have Fuzzy Bear. Ninth we have RAS Storm. And rounding out your top 10 is Alex Lilliot. In 11th we have Jake W. Combs. 12th we have Jess Gamer. 13th we have Indecisive. And without sitting a lap time retiring early, we have C-Tice Demon. So that runs out your qualifying session for the prospect here. And before we get underway, we'd just like to give a little bit of a tribute to the late Prince Phillips, and we'll be having a short silence for the formation lap in his memory. Of course, rest in peace to Prince Philip, but now we're going to be starting our first pre-season race of the Season 5 red lights, and we are underway here for the start of the Silverstone Short Grand Prix. He has gotten a good start. It looks like Liam has got a really good start. It looks like Vace has got a very, very good start. Coming through turn 1. It looks like, has these guys been able to keep it clean? It looks like no one has gone wide further down the grid. Seems all these drivers have kept it very clean, as Primeval Rex is going to make a diving move down the inside of RAS Adam. Oh, and he loses the traction. There's a Williams. He's gone off, and they're going side by side. It's Primeval and Adam. And it looks like we're already back onto the first straight into the second sector. It looks like it's been a very clean start besides from that Williams that has gone off. Further down the grid, we have Bazza and RAS Adam. They're going side by side. Bazza moving up into P5. Adam is going to have a bit of a look. Can he make the move stick though? No, he cannot. He's going to decide to back out and settle for P6. What about through the final corner though? Can he have a look? He's going to try dive it late down the inside. Bazza does leave him a bit of room, but he's able to hold on to P5, and that is just as quickly as it started. It's over. The first lap is already over, and look at that. Already on into P2, and looks like Vace, he got a really, really good start. I do have a bit of a timing glitch going on here, but I think it is, the order is Liam, Vace, and I think that's Astronauty in P3 as well. I'll just wait for the telemetry to sort itself out here. There's so much to look for in such a short circuit, but how did that start look for you, Matt?
I'm trying to keep up with everything. Unfortunate for Kingdom, who got caught in a bit of tangle there, but he'll have the pace to make it up the grid there for you. But it was a very clean start there. Great start by Waze, like you said at the start. And interestingly, well, I couldn't say during the formation, not due to respect to Prince Philip. Slight ding on the medium tyres up into P12, starting from last. So he's worth keeping an eye on. He's gone for the alternative strategy.
Yeah, most definitely. Starting on the mediums, that is a risk, but he can go for the medium soft strategy. Of course, these drivers, they still have to two-stop, and this is going to be a very difficult track to determine your strategy here. It looks like the closest battle on track we have at the moment is for the battle for P2. We have Ashton, so he's using his ERS. He's going to want to make a move going into Stowe. He's going to make a look down, going to have a look down the inside, and it's going to make the move stick even before the braking zone. Really nice move from Astronaut, and he now moves up into P2 and Vace down into P3, further down the grid. It looks like we have a battle going on side by side between Storm and JW Comms. They're going to go side by side. Let's see if we can get a better camera angle there. Looks like the T-Cam is going to be the best camera angle here. They're still going to go side by side through the final corner, but it looks like Ross was able to make a move. Storm was able to make a move around the outside, which now switches to the inside, and now he is now up into P9. So that's a very, very good move from RAS Storm, who is now moved up further into the points-paying positions.
Astronaut hasn't really pulled away much from Waze though, so Waze maybe stand another chance there, and no, Astronaut's car seems really slippery in a straight line. Even with Waze using overtake, Astronaut was pulling away.
Yes, Waze already picks up a time penalty, but yeah, as he says, Astronauti, it's been a bit of a trend last season. He always go for a more low downforcey setup and just had a lot of straight line speed. And he was also a very aggressive driver as well, so he's not able to get that move done on Vace so early, and maybe he can catch up to the back of the Ferrari driver of Liam. These guys, they've definitely had their history dating as far back as season 14, so there's not going to be any love lost between these guys. They're going to be battling as hard as possible, but Liam, he's gotten very well in the 6/10 gap. He has pulled a really nice gap, and he's able to control that gap from Astronauti, who is in P2 now.
Indecisive and Kingdom right now. Kingdom's got a bit squirmy there and he exit there for you, but he's gaining now on the main straight. Kingdom's going to go down the inside of the Haas driver, and that's just like taking chips from the baby. It's easy. Up into speed trap now is Kingdom.
Of course, if I can try and find the intervals and see where driver started and lost, and it looks like Kingdom, after that spin, he lost quite a few positions there. But when you have Astronaut, he's losing the traction there. He's definitely struggling on his tyres at the moment. Already on the back of him is Vace, and he has the DRS, whereas Astronaut does not. So can he try and make a move? He does have his overtake engaged, so he is going to try and look for it. But I don't think he's close enough. That low downforce self is really helping him.
Waze and Astronaut, two aggressive drivers. Waze doesn't want to keep going by too much, otherwise he'll end up with more penalties than the game allows him to, so he really needs to calm down a bit here and think of the long game.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to be picking up penalties. I think it's about 27 seconds off of penalties, and that gets you a disqualification. And at a track like this where it's so easy to pick up penalties, you've definitely just got to stay within the limits and just watch yourself a bit here, but it looks like these guys, they have been closing up onto Liam here. I wonder if Liam's playing a more conservative game here, because he's not really pulling that much away from these guys.
No, it's like you said, the problem is with this corner is with the DRS straight being such a long straight, the time you lose in the dirty air, you pretty much gain back if you're in the DRS. And if you're not in the DRS, as shown by Prime Legal Rex right now, it's just not gaining because he is unfortunately out of the DRS detection zone. He's losing more and more time, there's nothing he can do. He's even trying to use overtake to sort of use that as a deficit of DRS, which is just not working.
Yeah, and it looks like these drivers, they are beginning to form into their own little gaps here. Of course, we do have the battle for top 3, which you're going to stay on board with at the moment, but it looks like Adam, he's getting quite close to the back half. Actually, we do have a move further down the grid between Alex Lilliard and RAS Storm. Storm going very aggressive on Lilliard there, and I'm not sure if Storm ever lagged out or something there, but he's now ghosting on. That's just a bit of lag. Sorry about that, but further up the grid, it looks like we have Adam. He's getting even closer to the Alfa Romeo driver of Baza. Can he maybe have a look going into turn 3? He is the closest driver to another car on track at the moment, so can he maybe use that overtake and get onto the back of Baza? He is very close at the moment. This exit through turn 1 is going to really decide it all, and it looks like Baza has benefited it from it.
Baza's really struggling with the rear end because lit up his tyres too much and starting to overheat a bit. I'm looking at him could have him here now, and I'm sure if he gets a good exit, which he does. Baza not have the DRS now. Baza could be vulnerable here. Defend down the inside as Baza here is look behind the rear wing cameras. Adam goes down the inside, side by side. Bruce still there. Here's the Renault driver of Adam, still side by side. That's what I said before. In qualifying, there's a bit of argy-bargy there. Calm it down, lads. Still side by side there for you. And the Renault, it's a nice move there from Adam. Sort of giving him a message saying, hey, I'm here, get out of the way, it's my racing line now.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like Baza is going to be giving up there. He got really close to the back of Adam there, but had to back out safely in turn 1. Of course, as he says, he has been struggling on his rear tyres a little bit, so turn 1 would just be really dangerous for him because it's really easy to lose the traction of the car there. And yeah, it seems as though he's lost quite a bit of time to Adam, but he seems to be gaining all of that back through this DRS straight. Yeah, just as he said, it's really long, so he's turned in a bit too early there and has lost all that time he gained on the DRS straight. He's going to pit really early, pitting on lap 10. He's going to be the first to make a pit stop out of all these drivers here. Quite risky.
This could trigger a lot of people realising he's the first to make a pit stop, but what I did notice down that main straight is he had 27% of DRS to use to Adam's 71%, so he was using a lot of DRS just to try and keep in front of the Renault at that stage.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem as if though he was really being able to keep up the pace that he had in the first few laps and was just losing a lot more time. So maybe that pit stop could help him get a bit of an undercut and maybe jump at them. But I think these soft tyres, they can last at least 20 laps and keep good race pace here. So it could have been a little bit early. I think the strategy most of these drivers would want to use would be to use the mediums the least out of these soft and maximise the softs as much as you can.
What I was looking for really is how far away from the leaders Baza is, because he hit it now. And he was around in P8, and as he's going towards the end of the straight, Liam is going onto the straight. So they have to sort of time their pit stops. If they pit too late, they could end up a lap down.
Yeah, and I think, and here goes Liam. He's going to make a move, and Astronauti, he responds to it, and so does Vace. He responds to these front two drivers. So the top 3, they've all moved into the pits at the exact same time. Primeval Rex decides to stay out alongside Adam, so these top 3, they're definitely responding to Baza and trying to cut off the undercut as Adam, he makes a bit of a mistake going through the penultimate corner. That's going to make him lose quite a lot of time there, but a lot of these drivers now making their first pit stops here. Doesn't seem as if though there was any movers in the pit lane. I think they kept the same order as it did before. But yeah, there's not a lot of action out on track at the moment.
No, It's all sort of in the pit stop phase now. I'm interested to see where Basil comes out in this now, as Alex is in the pits responding to Basil's pit stop. With Hassel hit the spin at the exit of the pit lane. Not as unfortunate as Daniel Rex has restricted his braking point. 5-second stop go penalty for his next pit stop, which could be costly round here. With being such a short track and a long pit lane.
Yeah, looks like this.
Iron almost loses the rear through turn 1 to Storm here. He's using all of his DRS right now, so trying to go for the overcut here. But looking through that turn 1 where he almost lost the rear end, his tyres were done.
Yeah, I wonder if he was one of those drivers that did multiple lap times on and maybe gone for a more worn pair of soft compounds, because if that was the case, then he definitely will be struggling on this to keep his tyres manageable at the moment. But having a look at Bazza, he seems to have lost quite a bit of touch to these front two drivers. Maybe the mediums aren't suiting him as well as he'd have liked them to. And Astronaut, he's using all of his overtake. He's going to try and make a move down the inside of Liam. Liam is not going to have any of it at all. He's going to cut the inside as much as he can. Fair racing from these two, but Astronaut, he's looking really pushy at the moment, and he wants to get that provisional lead.
If this is what the season's going to bring, then bring it on. Battle for the leads like this, if the top 3 are close like this all the time. Come on, I hope this is what the season's going to be like. It's just a taster of what to expect in one hub.
Yeah, most definitely. Ooh, Astronaut nearly losing the car there, but as he says, if they can keep racing like this, maybe if Astronaut can stop making these mistakes like this. He's just staying the DRS of Liam though, so he will be able to close Liam back in. But yeah, if the racing can be like this all season long, then it's going to be one heck of a show.
Yellow flag in sector 2. That's Storm, who has lost the rear, where Astronaut got a bit squirmy there. It looks like he might have done what Astronaut did, clip the inside curve, and it's just unsettled the car and forced him into a spin. What you have to bear in mind now, Liam has to get past Demon, who started on the medium tyre, so he's got him to get around yet, which he won't be pitting anytime soon. So it's worth a watch, Demon, because then he'll just have to go soft towards the end. So you might really want to keep an eye on towards him to see how many positions you can make up. He'll always started on the back of the grid, so he's having a nice drive so far. No penalties on the board, which could push him up the order as his teammate Jake goes into the pit lane. Going on to lap 17 now. We've got the racing point of Demon into P1 with Liam in P2 and Astronaut following closely behind in P3, which looks like the closest battle on track at the moment. One thing I've noticed with Waze right now is already got the low fuel light on, so he's been burning a lot of fuel just to keep up, try and keep up with Astronaut in front here.
Oh, and Astronaut, he gets a bit of traction loss on the exit of turn 4, but he is going to be gaining quite a lot on Liam. He's going to have another go heading into Stowe. Yellow flags in sector 2, but that's not going to bother Astronaut at all. He has a lot better run this time, but Liam, he's going to hold it around the outside and he's going to make it stick. What? That's brilliant defending from Liam. Astronaut, he's definitely going to make a move down the inside, but Liam was able to break later. These guys are having a heck of a battle at the moment, and Liam is able to survive in P1 for another day. Really good defense driving from him.
Where the yellow flags come from, it's from Adam. He has front right end plate damage on his front wing, which is forcing him to pit. Now this could cause him to go a lap down here, and this could be his race in the bin at the moment, unless he can stretch out another medium stint towards the end of the race.
But further up we have Liam. He's going to try and make Astronaut, he's going to have a go once again. Oh, they make a bit of contact this time, but it looks like Astronaut, he's going to make the move stick this time, giving Liam a bit of a squeeze, but Liam is going to try and hold it. He has been able to hold it. He's going to break late. These guys are making contact once again. Liam nearly losing his car. Astronaut going nearly onto the grass here. These guys, they definitely haven't gotten any more respect for each other. They're going to be having a bloody battle all the way to the end of this race here, the Ferrari and the Mercedes. It's really good racing for us, but these guys, they're going to be absolutely furious in their helmets right now. But this is really good, really good fun to watch.
That's a real statement there from Astronaut, showcasing I'm the boss that's here, I'm taking this position, let me have a bite of the cherry again.
Definitely so, and look how much they've gained onto the back of C-Type's team, and he's really struggling to keep pace on those mediums. The mediums are definitely out of date, and he's going to have to be coming into the pit lane very soon. Liam's going to go very late on the brakes. Well, Astronaut have even got a lot of respect there to not turn in on Liam, because that could have easily ended Liam's race if Astronaut was feeling a little annoyed there, but it looks like Liam's pit window is open. He is looking very aggressive, so maybe this is Liam's plan. He wants to get that move done as early as possible, and maybe wants to pit onto the softs early and do a very, very long final stint on them, because these softs, I think they can make it to the end of the race with just a small hint of tyre saving. But yeah, this is looking really good, and now Cetas Diamond, he's in the battle. I don't think he's going to fight it very much. Astronauti already right on the back of Cetas Diamond, already side by side and already making the move stick, and now he's got a car in front of Liam. Liam's going to send it down the inside. Cetas Diamond letting him through there. Maybe a wise move from Demon to keep these guys through, because these guys, they're looking very aggressive at the moment, very racy, and you don't really want to get in the midst of these two guys at the moment.
If I was Astronaut, I'd be a bit annoyed, like, come on, why didn't you hold Liam up now? Give me a break.
Definitely
like,
so.
Liam does not have as much ERS to play with like Astronaut does, so he's got ERS to defend with. Astronaut once again rear end stepping out within the turn 3. Those tyres will be overheating now, so he's going to struggle to put the power down on the main straight, and this is forcing Liam onto the gearbox of Astronaut. I'm going to go side by side once again with the leaders. Crikey, how much more closer do you want to get? Still side by side there. Oh, that's a big bit of contact there. Wheel to wheel action right now. Still side by side through the last corner, but Liam has to yield. Still the Mercedes still in the lead of the Silverstone shotgun group.
It looks like Liam, he's not done yet. He's going to try and make a move into turn 2 this time. He's going to try to look around the outside, and he looks like he's going to make the move stick. Maybe Astronauti giving it up so he can get the DRS. Heading through the back straight here, and he is going to get the DRS here, so maybe Astronauti can get the move back done, but Liam is going to go instantly defensive. He's going to weave around the track a bit there, and maybe a bit of tactics learnt from season 12. Not going to mention which driver did it, but Astronauti is going to make a move down the inside. Liam's able to hold it, but look at Vase. He's now back into this battle because of these guys fighting so hardly, and look at how far in front these top 3 are. Vase, he misses his braking point once again, losing the traction, and he's done so hard to get back into this battle, and he's just put himself already back out of it as Cetas Demon heads into the pit lane. He's going to be putting on 2 pairs of softs to round out the rest of this race, and it looks like we've just got a 2-horse battle left for the race win, but we still have a pit stop left for these drivers to do.
Yeah. I was looking down further down the grid to see if there's any more battles happening on track, whilst the leaders have a bit of a breather, and Storm and Jake are a bit close on track, so I'll keep an eye on that battle.
So we have Astronauti, Liam, he's now finally running out of VRS here. He's got less than 10 left, but he's still able to brake later. Of course, he has the outside line as an advantage. Astronauti stuck to the inside line. I gotta say, these guys, they have been a bit argy-bargy, but these guys, they've been racing as clean as I think these guys can possibly race at the moment. It's been really, really aggressive, but really, really good to watch.
With me still being new to One Hub, I'm still learning myself now, and first impressions, this is fantastic racing. From the telltale sign from Astronaut, and he'll see the flashing, blinking light of Liam indicating that he's low on ERS, and Astronaut will know this. He will know he's got more ERS to play with as well. So, still a long way to go in this race, but he seems to be managing his ERS better so far than Liam.
Yeah, it seems so, but you really got to be considerate, because you could see that Liam is nearly out of VRS, and you know you have the advantage, and that may drive you to become a little bit impatient and use all of your ERS, and if you do that, you're just going to be in the same boat as him, and on this game it's really hard to save the ERS, especially around a track like this. So I think Astronaut, he's not the most patient of drivers, but I think he's going to have to be the most patient he ever has been if he wants to be able to close up to Liam. Of course, they are now beginning to catch up to some lapped cars, so maybe that could give Liam a bit of DRS here.
Yes, and yet again, Waze has got another penalty. So, in terms of trying to keep up, Waze is using every bit of battery he can, every bit of the track as well, it seems. And unfortunately, he has racked up loads of penalties, but I don't think he'll care. Will it be pre-season? He'll just want to be a really good race for him. A nice battle on track. And he's once again showing he has got the pace his ways, and he hooks the laps together. He is a fast driver.
Yeah, he is, and I think this might be a one-off for Vase. I really hope this isn't going to be a trend where he just picks up a trainload of penalties. But to be fair, he's not the only one picking up penalties. You know, only four drivers haven't picked up a penalty. As Vase P picks up another time penalty, and I think he spun actually.
No,
so,
that looks like the reset glitch. Right.
Oh, I'm not aware of this one.
That happened to me in the league race. You go a bit wide, and the car just gets frozen on track and resets you and just completely messes up your handling. So that's unfortunate for when it's that.
Yeah, he's retired from the session as well, so I think that really quite annoyed him there. He was on for a podium and maybe even a race win if these guys battle a lot harder, but I'm not really going to consolate him for retiring on track. Just make sure you don't do that in the season, Vase. But we have Astronaut. He's gotten right close back to Liam once again. He's going to have a look once again through Stowe, of course. We've seen the most overtake opportunities happen here. I think this is probably the only place on track where you can make a move fully stick, besides from turn 2. Oh, and Liam, he gets a little bit onto the grass there. That's going to allow Astronaut to have a bit of a look in, but Liam once again having that advantage of the outside line. Oh, and Astronaut, he brakes really late. I don't think he meant to do that there, and they both do well to avoid each other, but it's funny, these guys are the only guys on track that are in a battle, and it's for the race lead, so it looks like we're going to have to be sticking on with these guys for the entirety of this race, apparently.
I'll happily watch this for the next how many laps it takes. A proper... Crikey, I'm speechless, sorry, there's that many times of overtaking each other as the astronaut almost goes down the inside of Liam. And again, we're down the straight once again, the laps are ticking down so quickly. Now they're struggling to keep up the action on track at the moment.
Yeah, the laps are coming so quickly. Oh, there's Astronaut, he's going to make another move down the inside of Liam. Can he make it stick this time? And I think he has been able to. They're going side by side now through the penultimate part of the track. Liam, he's going to give Astronaut a bit of a squeeze through the penultimate corner, but Astronaut, he's not backing down. And now Astronaut, he retakes the lead of the Silverstone Grand Prix, or the Silverstone short layout. But it looks like Liam, he's not backed out yet. And he's going to be trying to make a move through turn 2. He's going to use his overtake. He only has 6 ERS left. He's going to have a dive bomb down the inside. Oh, and Astronaut, he doesn't leave that much courtesy there and cuts Liam off in his tracks. Luckily, they didn't make contact there and they could still battle for another lap. But can Liam, he's got a good run here. He's using his overtake. He has barely any ERS left. He's going to have a look. Astronaut going defensive. Liam going to do a little feint there. He's going to make a move down the inside and he's going to leave a bit of a squeeze there. I don't think that's fully intentional. I think that's just his tyres, you know, aging quite a bit. But Astronaut, he does well to avoid it going wide.
This is getting personal now.
Oh, just hope these guys don't take each other out. This is our only source of entertainment for this race, although I think that is Storm is getting quite close to the back of Alex Lilly out there for the battle for P7, so maybe you can have a little look at that after this straight here. But as these leaders, they pass the lap cars of indecisive. Liam picks up another time penalty. I'm not going to have a look at the penalties. It's best to keep it a surprise for the final lap. But Liam, he has no ERS left. Astronaut, he's gaining. He's having a look. He's got to try and make a move to brake late. Oh, they make contact.
Oh,
no.
And around goes Astronaut with the spin. Does he take this chance to pick for a fresh set of mediums to get the undercut? No, he does not. Oh, careful. Calm down, Astronaut. Don't want to get too rash. Just keep it together. Let the tyres cool down and we'll be back in the race in no time. Looks to go the inside of Bazza. Oh, he's getting a bit aggressive now. Careful, lads. Deary. It's a real shame that for Astronaut, but from signs now he has got the pace there, but it was coming.
Yeah, I gotta say, it was looking quite inevitable. I think these drivers, you know, they just can't battle on track without one of them or both of them, you know, taking each other out. It's just the way it goes for these two drivers, and hopefully in the season they can slightly sort out their differences and at least give each other a bit of room there. But I think from what I saw, that was a little bit pretentious from Astronaut trying to make a move down the inside there, but I think it's just more of a racing incident. And Astronaut, I think that's basically Liam's clear run to win this race, really, unless Astronaut perhaps goes for a bit of an undercut here and just absolutely flies in this final stint.
battle between Storm and Alex. They've been getting quite close with each other. So let's keep an eye on that battle there. As I can see up on times on the left. Astronaut is getting really close to Prime Mover now. So he goes down the inside. Back into P2 now as Astronaut now aims to charge down at Liam now. Yellow flag in sector 2, and Alex has lost the rear. I pan off him for 1 second, and he's spun.
Yeah, I saw a move happen there. I saw it quite late, and I think that was just a bit of a squeeze from Storm there, and just that typical contact that's usually made on this game. And Liliot is just into the barrier, and hopefully he didn't pick up wing damage it from there, and hopefully he can still fight for points. He does have his teammate. He was a lap down, I believe, so. I think as long as Alex Liliot doesn't retire, he can get an unofficial point finish.
Fresh set of leaders. Soft tyre, they do last quite a long time. They're doing such a short second. Already past it, I think we're already past the halfway point in this race, you know. That's suddenly flown by.
Yeah, I've only got 21 or 22 laps left, I believe that is. So yeah, this race has absolutely flown by. These guys, they're nearing their pit windows for their final stints. Now the closest battle on track is the battle for P3 between Primeval Rex and F1 Baza. Of course, Primeval Rex, he's returning from One Hub. He's another one of One Hub's veterans. He has had a little break between seasons, but he is back and he has been looking good, you know, holding the podium, and not by fluke either. He has shown good pace in qualifying as well, so hopefully Primeval Rex can keep this pace for the season. Perhaps he can go for some podiums and maybe even some wins if the two powerhouses of Liam and Astronauti get into more contacts in the official season. But doesn't look like Baza is able to get close enough to the back of Primeval Rex to be able to make a move there. And I think Primeval Rex has gone for another low downforce setup, another one of those drivers who's gone for the popular low downforce setup and just made themselves a little bit more slippery on the straights to keep themselves more protected.
Process of that, he has Baza gaining down the because there wasn't a previous lap, he had straight line speed. That Alfa Romeo is playing with a good defensive. Now he's the door ripping down the inside. Once again, Alan Katz goes side by side through Snow. And again, he just doesn't have the rear end of that lack of downforce on that Alfa Romeo, just like in real F1. The Alfa Romeo can be touchy there, very of course, this is the performance of Astronaut. Sets the fastest lap on the bottom right hand 7, really now. Could be seeing the back of the lead again soon. Keeps that pace of Astronaut.
Yeah, hopefully so. Of course, we do have a mandatory 2-stop rule, and only 3 drivers have completed their 2 stops, so we still have a lot of these drivers yet to pit. And of course, it's going to be an absolute shootout for the final 20 laps of this Grand Prix. But look at F1 Baza. He's going to have a look around the outside. He's turned in a little bit too much there, and he's gone out onto the grass, completely ruining his run. And he hasn't got his car back under control just yet, but yeah, now he has. And I think he's practically lost DRS from Primeval Rex, unless he's just been able to keep it. But Astronauti, he's pitting early. He's going to try go for an undercut. He did set the fastest lap of the race, so he does have quite a bit of pace on him left. So maybe he can use this undercut to gain a little bit more on to the race leader of Liam. To be fair, with a 5-second gap, I don't really think Liam's going to mind that, although that gap will definitely be coming down. I'd say down to 3-4 seconds, depending on Astronauti's outlap, because as he said, he did come out in free air. But I think Liam's definitely got this race covered for the foreseeable future, unless he makes a detrimental mistake or penalties come into effect. As Jake W comes, he speeds into the pit lane, so that's another error that's gonna maybe make him lose a bit more of a gap to his teammate Citas Demon, who were going at it a little bit there. I saw it quite late that Citas Demon made a move around the outside through Stowe on his teammate. So those Racing Point drivers, unless I think they are teammates for this season, I'm not very sure, but it looks like we could have some teammate battles going on here this season.
Still a lot to be confirmed. This is the prospect here. So, the Mercedes, Liam Craig Summer, Red Bull, which he is not to be able to tonight. I don't know who will drive tonight. McLaren, Adam, TJW is Scuderia Alcantara, Pablo in the Alfa Romeo, Alex in the Haas, and Kingdom in the Williams. Is yet another 10 drivers to be confirmed. We'll know that before the season starts.
Indeed we will, but looking at this final stint, of course we have 13 laps to go, now coming on to 12 laps as Liam crosses the final corner and the start finish straight, setting the fastest lap of the race as well. I think this race might be all she wrote here for the Silverstone pre-season race at One Hub. I think it's going to be an easy Liam win. Astronauty P2 and Citas Demon, he's had a really good race. I wonder if he's pitted.
He has got one more stop to make, but that will be another fresh set of soft tyres. That alternative strategy of going on the medium tyres, and he's not even got any penalties as well, so he's kept it clean.
Yeah, he's done really well this race. He's done really well in this race. Of course, he kept it clean, as he says, and in this final stint, he's going to have the freshest soft compound tyres out of everyone, so he's going to be charging his way up the field. Perhaps he can get even a top 6, maybe top 5 result here.
Question is still of when he will hit his Basil in the plane. Also, soft tyres. Now, between Astronaut and William, it's just themselves. It was 5 seconds, now down to 4.2 seconds. It's like you say now, Liam has almost a full hour of overtake to use. Astronaut is pushing like mad with not as much ERS. He's almost done and dusted there. So his sights got a bit wide and open the door there for Azza. I think his soft tyres are starting to go now where he really needs to pit now to lose less time. Say he started from the back. In P5, he's had a solid race so far. Does he pit? No, he doesn't.
I wonder if he remembers that it's a 2-stop race, because they're not really going to be gaining much in 10 laps around here. So I think hopefully he has remembered that it's a 2-stop race and picked in for the final lap. Maybe he's going to try go for a fastest lap and just practice that 1 lap pace.
I'm just going to look at the race director to see who has what. Littered with penalties. Check. What? Wait. Oof. There's a lot of penalties, I must say. Check how the 5 seconds stop go. And the last person to get any form of penalties on the side set. Astronaut's got more penalties than William. Yes, as I look, actually, yeah, the details on penalties, William got 6 seconds to Astronaut's 9. Basil's got 12 seconds to Kingdom's 6. Demon's got no penalties. Though a lot of drivers can be pushed up the grid, just keep within a respectable time of the lead. They could end up with a surprise podium.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I've seen Basil, he picked up quite a few penalties, but Kingan, he's got a few penalties, but could he perhaps, he's on the harder compounds. I don't really think he's going to be gaining on Basil, but this is the closest battle on track at the moment. So we're going to, in fact, never mind, the closest battle on track right now is Prime Bull Rex vs Citas Demon, but Demon, he's yet to pit, so I don't think he's going to be really giving Rex that much of a fight, of course, on 15 lap older tyres. I think Rex is going to be able to make this move done into Stowe even before the corner, maybe, if Citas Demon is just going to let him through quite easily.
I hope he's remembered that. laps to 20. His tyres are 20 laps old. Surely you would tap the 9 to pit busy now. And once again sets another fastest lap of the race. He stays out.
Yeah, I think he's forgotten that it's a 2-stop.
But then again, this is pre-season. Time to make a mistake is now to learn from it. Feel for the car.
Most definitely, and I think these drivers, I think it's been a solid pre-season race from these drivers. Hopefully they have learnt. Hopefully they have learnt a bit more about their cars and their surroundings. Of course, Liam and Astronauty, they don't need to learn anything more about their surroundings. They've known each other for at least a year now, so. And they still haven't gotten any cleaner with each other. But Astronauty, he sets the fast lap of the race. Instead of having an on-trap battle, they're now having a fastest lap battle, these two drivers. So these guys.
I will have the fastest lap. It's a very like, oh yeah, you have a go. No, you have a go. So they're sort of like saving ERS and then having a full-on party. But Liam has no ERS to Astronaut does have ERS. So that'll explain why Astronaut is actually gaining time. Look now, it's gone down to 3.3 seconds. It used to be 4.6 seconds, something off lap time just dropped. So I wonder if Liam got held up by some traffic.
Oh. I saw Demon, he entered the pit lane and then he just glitched back out into the track. I'm not sure if that's a glitch or not.
No, he's in the pit lane and now he's just coming out of pits now into P10 in the fresh set of soft tyres. He's behind his teammate of Jake. So that could be in the team battle there. So the racing point will be asking them to just keep it clean, lads.
Yeah, I don't really think they're going to be listening to their team orders right now. I think they're going to be having as much fun as possibly can for these dying laps of the pre-season race. You know, it's a pre-season race. They can afford to have this fun with each other before they all get all serious. And in the real season, so, and especially with Cetas Demons, they probably even go for a fastest lap here if these front two drivers are feeling a bit nice. But the Astronaut, he's gained quite a lot of time on to Liam actually, 2.6 seconds now.
Yes, indeed. So I'm looking at that time tumble down now, getting towards the end of this pre-season race here for One Hub. Liam saving his ERS a bit, I've noticed now. He used to be properly dead on the battery, but he's regained some. I think he's sort of knowing that Astronaut is coming, so he's preparing his car ready for defence. Could we see a last lap battle? Down to 2.3 seconds.
As well, of course. The Cetas Demon, he has such fresher tyres than Jake W comes, so I wonder if Jake is going to be fighting it. Sorry for my stuttering my words there, but no, I think Jake is going to let Demon through there. Maybe Demon's going for a fastest lap and Jake doesn't want to interrupt him there.
Yeah, that was team play there. That's nice to see. Also, Jake sort of realised he's got a penalty. It's not worth defending someone who's on, was it 8 laps fresher tyres? So he was going to finish in front of him. It was just inevitable. So that's good team play there from the two Racing Points drivers.
Yeah, indeed, and he does set a fastest final sector, so I think he could be going for a fastest lap here, but I think I'm going to go on board with Liam at the moment, or maybe even Astronauty, because look at him now that he has 2 Ferraris in his sights, one being the lap car of Jess and the other one being his most sacred rival, Liam, so there is only 3 laps to go, maybe even 2 laps to go now, so I don't really think much is going to happen there. I think Liam's just going to be chilling, but Astronauty, he's not giving up at the moment.
I think Jess will be a bit disappointed with the results today. I know she's a lot quicker than this. I know she got caught up in an incident which we can see on screen. Has Liam just been disqualified, or was that a disconnection issue?
I think that might be a bit of an issue there because he's driving quite normally for me.
Yeah, it did the thing where the AI just took control of the car. But there must have been a music issue, so apologies for trying to cause a bit of last minute drama. It looked like that, so.
Well, it's all the content we need, especially now that these drivers quite distanced themselves. But moving on to the final lap, Astronaut, he's finally got himself into the DRS, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I'm gonna go on board with Liam at the moment right now. So for the final lap of the Grand Prix, he can take us through one last lap. Is he gonna go for a hot lap? Perhaps, maybe do a bit for Hamilton here and go for the fastest lap at the end of the race. He is using his overtake.
He's using every bit of that battery, but he's in the zone. He's going to get the slipstream. He's going to get the astronaut. He does Liam. He's using every bit of the battery right now. Astronaut is too far away. How's that going? I heard myself for a second.
But coming through the final sets of corners right now, we do have Liam JHMC. Astronaut not far behind, but that's not going to matter. Liam, he's going to come home. He's going to win the Silverstone Grand Prix, and he holds on to P1. Astronaut getting a bit more penalties than him, but still a very, very good race from these two drivers, and maybe we could see more of this in the season. Maybe this could be a championship battle between these two drivers. But coming home in third place, we do have F1 Passer. P4, a very good comeback drive from Kingen actually after that lap 1 spin. He moves up into P3 actually, so that's a really good result from him to be able to manage those penalties. Bramble Rex into P5, Fuzzy Bear comes home in P6. Oh no, he actually jumps Bramble Rex to take P5, so better penalty management on his side. We have Adam coming home in 7th, and the final runner who has not been lapped is RAS Storm, his teammate. So that was a very entertaining pre-season race, really interesting scenes.
Starting from last on the grid, he actually did a nice recovery drive by himself, so yeah, he would have been my driver of the day. But in terms of action, I hope we see more of that in the season coming, and it's just a taste of what one hub can bring. But it's the first stream of tonight. I think this race is exciting. There's many more races to go.
Indeed so, and we do have Liam doing his Egyptian celebration there. The Scotsman, he takes the first unofficial win of One Hub Racing Season 18. He basically wins the prologue before the story starts, so Liam, he's definitely looking like a contender this season. Hopefully he can continue this pace, but not too far behind him we do have Astronauty. You know, he's a driver, he's a very aggressive driver, but he does have pace, and hopefully this season he can show that pace. But running through your final grid order, Matt, would you like to go for it for me?
So first we have Liam in the Ferrari. Nice battle with Astronaut. And Astronaut taking second place, which he believed wasn't contact with Ferrari. That could have been a win for him, so instead he took the fastest lap on the last lap. Kingdom in P3, Paso P4, Fuzzy Bear P5, Prime 6th, Adam checking P7, Storm 8, Zack Demon, Jake Combs, Alex and Indecisive, and then Jess in 13th. And our only not finisher today is Waze in the AlphaTauri.
So then, Matt, who would you say is your driver of the day, and what question would you be giving him?
Driver of the day, I'd say, is Demon in terms of positions gained. He's sort of kept quiet. May not be the quickest driver on the grid, but he's kept his nose clean. So, yeah, I think I'm an interesting question for him, really.
I think my driver of the day would be Liam JHMC, of course. Very dominant drive, led nearly every single lap after, but he did have a really good battle with Astronauty. My question to him is going to be, you've won the pre-season race, and do you think you can continue this pace into the season and actually go for that championship? So that rounds out your... Oh, sorry, what was he saying?
Apologies. Did I not say my question? I was supposed to say to Demon. I did not, did I?
No.
My question is, to him, would be, in terms of your result for this pre-season race, do you see yourself building on the result you achieved here?
So that's two solid questions for... Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go on. It's
So,
me
yeah.
thinking out loud.
So yeah, two interesting questions for our drivers in the media day to answer, and then that rounds out your pre-season race at the Silverstone short layout. Thank you very much for joining us. I've been Dane, and this has been Matt, and hopefully you can join us for the start of the season. Of course, I won't be here, but do join the prospect here and watch this championship battle really commence. Of course, you can the night still continues. We still have the 6:45 race going on, which is the podium, the points I believe it is. So do check that out, and we do have more races coming on here tonight. So that's basically it. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.